The world's a little blurry as it is. It gets even worse as a result of the internet. In this See Me After class, we'll discuss why this article, which wrongly throws rocks at the millennial generation, is a disservice not only to them, but to you. But to suggest that millennials are the reason that health insurance costs are going to increase in the future is wrong from the beginning, and then it gets worse. The details of the article are either wrong or they omit vital fundamental facts. And then it continues on. I have to stop and say, no, the crazy thing here is that there's no evidence that this person is qualified at all to even analyze whether or not, much less to be the author of this article, which is just all sorts of crazy. So as a result, I have to stop and create See Me After class. You takeaway here as we get into the details is don't just scan over stuff and then have that embedded into your mind as a fact. This article here is on Yahoo Finance. It's not a small website. This is not a small website at all. Nevertheless, the headline, the details, quite out of place. Oh wait, I forgot. This is what happens when I don't run with the script, which I never do because I don't have time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Look, the market's going to change, right? In other words, facts change. Legislation changes. It can affect certain factors which totally change your decision making. This is just the nature of current events and the way it affects financial topics. This channel has a lot more information than just simply Medicare. Fine, I'm the author of Maximize Your Medicare. But the reality is those are simple examples of ways of thinking through other financial topics which you might not think are related, but they are. The principles are largely related. I describe it to the persons like this. I don't consider myself a Medicare expert by itself. I do consider myself an expert in a Lego, building the Lego. So since I know what's inside the Lego or how the Lego is constructed, you can rearrange the Legos into a spaceship, a skyscraper, a log cabin. It's still a rearrangement of Legos. And that's your common thread throughout all the videos. So that's the reason for subscribing, liking the video. Leave your comments and questions, and don't forget the notification bell. You know, this morning I woke up and thought to myself, we haven't had a See Me After class segment, and largely because, I have not been looking for material, been way too busy dealing with the American Rescue Plan, etc., and our own professional agendas over here. Nevertheless, I was still thinking that we need a See Me After class segment. Well, the See Me After class segment fairy arrived, put a little nugget underneath the pillow. Up came this Yahoo Finance article. How millennials are driving up health insurance costs for everyone else. If you don't laugh, you're going to cry, really. This is literally, I could probably call it 4 to 5 videos on all the incorrect, misleading statements, omissions of background information that would vitally change the conclusions of this article. It is that bad. This is the nice version, by the way. This is take 2 of what I really wanted to say. All right. So let's go through the article. It says that 1/3 of millennials have a health condition that reduces their quality of life and their life expectancy. Okay. This is known. COVID by itself has reduced life expectancy in the United States by 1 full year, according to certain estimates. What does this mean for the aging generation's future? We're seeing that millennials are not seeking preventative care, and it's not only going to affect on their immediate health, will significantly impact their long-term health as well. Fine. This happens all the time anyway. Sorry to my 30-year-old self. Let's continue. Blah, blah, blah. We're talking about geographical components. Certain states are healthier than other states. All known. All is known. And then on here, etc., etc. With all these millennials managing health conditions, their insurance claims and demands on the system are expected to increase as they continue to age, resulting in higher premiums for everyone. Okay. This is the kind of sweeping generalization that see me after class, thanks. It's basically a segment that is pointing out insufficiencies, logical contradictions, omissions of vital information. That's what the point of this segment actually is. And here we go. We're right in the middle of it. So now it goes to say Americans are already starting to see their premiums go up as average annual premium for family coverage rose 37% from years to 2015 to 2020. All right. Who said that this was the result of the fact that millennials not mishandling their health conditions? Right? In other words, this situation existed in the past. Why are we trying to point at millennials as the reason for this later? And a family plan purchased through Affordable Care Act Marketplace premiums rose 97% from this to this. I'm not going to even dispute whether or not that's true. Note, importantly, that this is the result of the fact that this was inevitable, right? Meaning that health care costs have increased, right? In other words, the price of raw oranges has increased. Of course, the orange juice is more expensive, right? In a bid to reverse this trend, Biden and the Obamacare plans, which is the COVID relief bill, this is the American Rescue Plan, reduced insurance by more than 25%. It's actually bigger than that, right? And depending on the age. The bottom line is that it's increasingly important to shop around for the best and most affordable health insurance available. It is probably the singular statement on this entire article that I agree with. That is true. That is true. People don't know about their American Rescue Plan. I've been on the radio multiple times nationwide over the last month to try to help people understand that this exists. I've been in the street.com and other financial places to say, look, you need to be careful. This is a tax credit, not just a handout. That also has tax implications. Okay, so you need to be careful. But can health insurance premiums decline notably? Yes, 25%, far too low for a 63-year-old in Arizona. If that person has very good health, literally disaster insurance can cost them $0 a month. That is entirely possible. I've seen it. We have new clients fitting that description. What I don't like here, out of a long list, is to wrongfully point to a particular age division as going to be the reason for increases in health insurance premium. That is crazy talk. Absolutely crazy. Let's just start at the beginning. Number one is you don't have an increase in health insurance premium as a result of the expected unseen illnesses of the uncovered or the persons who are not reflecting ongoing symptoms. You don't. right? Because there's something called medical loss ratio, which is that if they overcharge and they don't get that justified by claims, then the insurance companies have to pay back the money in rebates. Many people are going to be getting rebates for 2020 because healthcare cost usage is down so precipitously because, as you might know, primary care physicians weren't taking, appointments for the fact that you had a hangnail, whatever a hangnail is. So my point is that the idea, just the general idea that millennials, that any particular age division here, right, are driving up the healthcare costs for everyone else is lunacy. Absolutely lunacy. In addition to that, they're not quantifying by how much millennials would be responsible for healthcare cost usage. Okay? So it's fine. 28-year-old Mr. Perfect now all of a sudden has to go to the doctor once, doctor twice. Is he, that person, on average going for stage 4 pancreatic cancer at that age? Stage 4 colon cancer? Prostate cancer? No for 28-year-olds. So fine, 528-year-olds have to go to the doctor one more time. Guess what? One more 63-year-old has to go to the urologist. That person is many times the cost of the 500 who needed to go and get their hangnail checked out. And I'm not trying to minimize, right, this description about the fact that 44% of the generation has at least one chronic health condition. What this article also secondarily, out of a very long list of problems, it doesn't compare, okay, what about the non-millennial generation? So you're going to tell me that those persons are only, 25% of them reported a diagnosis? That you know for sure? It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Third. What isn't here at all is the fact that the Affordable Care Act, for all of the fact that all these people are taking their victory lap today, at the time the Affordable Care Act was started, at the time that we saw the AARP haul out no age tax, it became another subject for See Me After Class. Part of the reason that health insurance is not widely adopted by 28-year-old Mr. Perfect is because the price of premiums is limited compared to a 63-year-old. So the way the Affordable Care Act works is, let's say that the Affordable Care Act is for a 63-year-old. Let's say the Affordable Care Act plan is $1,000 a month. That's the sticker price. Okay. For a 28-year-old, there's a limit to how low that premium can be, and it is 4 times lower than the $1,000, meaning that for the same plan, it would cost $250. $250 a month. My statement when I first saw this combination is, no, this is actually the wrong way around. Meaning that the AARP said this is unfair to seniors, unfair to, boomers, unfair to the 55 and older crowd because it's too high. If anything, I would have said that the ratio is not wide enough. Health insurance deals on the entire pool of applicants. In other words, we needed as many 28-year-olds, many 28 Mr. Perfects in paying even $1 for health insurance. Even $1. Why? Because to balance out the fact that one 63-year-old that gets bad news from a urologist wipes the entire thing out. That's the way that the math of insurance works. If anything here, by no age tax, they were saying it discriminated against millennials. I've told other millennials, I said, you know what? You should actually have an association of millennials to shoot down the fact that this no age tax was such a distorted slogan. Where's any of that here? So while this article says how millennials are driving up health insurance costs for everyone else, what it could also as easily have said, how the ripple effects of the AARP's activity here has cost millennials affordable health insurance at prices that they could afford, which is now fed back into their conclusion, which means that how boomers were originally responsible for the fact that today, that maybe later, millennials might drive up health insurance costs for everyone else. That's a long distance from this title, how millennials are driving up health insurance costs for everyone else. Wildly pulling stuff out of context without acknowledging. I can't even tell if this person even understood any of this 4-to-1 ratio that I just talked about the no age tax and the origination of the Affordable Care Act and the way that it works. So to jump to the conclusion wrongly, without evidence, and then to draw to a conclusion without any of the background facts or information or any technical answers, any evidence of any understanding about the way that health insurance works, richly deserving of See Me After class. You know, you could rightfully ask me why I get this animated when I produce a See Me After class segment. And the simple reason is it makes your life much more difficult, right? Because it just adds to the noise. It's not a signal. It's noise. It's wrongly placed noise. And the reason I created See Me After class is because this creates a distortion in your understanding about the diagram that I showed you, the Lego. I'm here to help dissect the Legos and what the configuration of Legos and how that can affect you. Easiest way to remember this is if you know what's on no health insurance application and no Medigap or Medicare Advantage application, your political affiliation. Nobody asks that. Guess why? They don't care. They care about how you fit in the Lego structure. Thanks for watching.